I am the idea of Gloria Clay, the presenter of this technology of the wisdom of words. This CD consists of 7 pieces as a sample of the thought process of the teachings of how words can be arranged in a position of power, and how this arrangement awakens a different perspective to one's thoughts. The first piece is called Imagine This. The second, I Am. The third, Destiny. The fourth, Change. The fifth, The Teachings of the Circle of Knowledge. The sixth, Letter to President Barack Obama. And the seventh, Reality. Imagine this. Imagine being in a movie that requires the color of glamour, and you have dressed yourself in rags for the command performance. Now your thought of glamour has become contaminated by the audience you have played to. Then you begin to think, how can I change my projection of glamour in the minds of my audience? Then the dismal thought occurred to you, must I attempt to change myself and give the audience what they came to see? A clown performing by the command of the thought of the masses. It then occurs to you that as an actor displaying skills of his trade does not necessarily feel as that I am presence of the inner audience of your soul group, and thereby begin to feel as if your entire being has become only the illusion of self you have been commanded to perform on a stage of life, lending no purpose to your existence in the world. So you search the banks of time in the eyes of your beholder, who spits the seas of emotions, rocking your ship, causing an uneasiness, and this calls your I am presence to the defense of the illusion of time. Then the command performance is over since eternity, and the audience has now fallen asleep, and you find yourself wondering if I am. Who am I? I am an idea. Where did I come from? I have always been. Where am I? I am everywhere. When was I born? I existed. I always was. How long will I be here? Forever. What is life? I am life. I am a continuous process of energy, of mind, of thought, of ideas moving throughout eternity. What shall I do? I think I will create for myself a universe of heavenly wonder, of the vastness of space. The universe is in motion now. I created it to have constant movement. What shall I do now? I know. Why not make of myself a man, so that I can enjoy myself and my creation? Now that I have made myself an idea of a man, I can now feel myself, and I feel the need to share myself. I think I will create myself, a part of myself, that I can enjoy and share with myself, and that part of me can also enjoy and share me. Now that we are two, united and sharing as one, why don't we create individual ideas of ourselves, giving birth to an army of ideas, existing by us, of us, for us, in one mind and throughout eternity? And so it is. Destiny. The power that rules my fate is named destiny. The purpose of my birth is to face time with the persistent measurements of seconds. These seconds tick away the steady stream of minutes, giving light a day for 24 eternal hours. Let not time beacon you from your youth, giving promises of future days that leads into the darkness of forgetfulness. Remember, the power that rules your fate is the purpose of your day. So equate each day a second and face each hour with purpose and ride the winds of destiny to push back the hands of time. Change. One of the attributes of a warrior is to have impeccable timing. The year 2000 holds an abundance of stored magical energy. The knowledge of this magic moment renders an excellent opportunity to glide with ease into the new millennium on the wings of the prophets. That is, if we wake up on time for the flight. It is difficult to see the world with our eyes closed, and equally as difficult to be about change if we are asleep in a dream state. A dream is always a more pleasant state of our being than waking up and finding ourselves in a nightmare. We have to begin to pay attention to change as meaning more than pennies or quarters, or even the rare sight of the limited edition of the Kennedy $50. Wake up and greet the dawn of change. Dare to dream the 2,000-year-old dream of change. Accept this magical moment in abundance, and know the impeccable power of a warrior is the strength to persist rather than resist. Resistance doesn't have the power to hold back the power of change. However, with the persistent tick of time and without effort, the power to wake up and seize this opportunity to glide on the winds of change into the new millennium is the gift of time. Happy birthday, Rip Van Winkle. The Teachings of the Circle of Knowledge by Professor Gloria J. Clay. We seem to be a society of angry people, and angry people are fearful people, and fearful people are not balanced. And balance is needed to stand up, and standing up is what an angry person cannot do for fear of falling. And falling is scary, and hurting is painful, and healing takes change, and change takes effort, and effort is dependent on movement, and we are too tired to move. Why do we feel the need to talk our walk when it comes to walking our talk? We are not ready for that much effort. Have we given all of our power to the sensations of the tongue, not realizing that we have lost control of our senses? What are we teaching the children? A servant society will always teach lack as if it were a virtue, and we are always the hidden curriculum which teaches us to buy into the sound of more, knowing that we see ourselves as less, as viewed by the mirror image of lack, with all of its fingers reflecting back at us, and all at once. Once such a movie is made, we may never walk again, because now we have a companion named Sick, who refuses the eviction papers. So we wake up one morning and find ourselves sick and the property of the medical society. Now we become sick and tired of living and scared of dying. How are the children? It is said that sociology is the scientific study of human society and human interactions. What does that mean? Does it mean that the way human beings interact with each other is what forms a human society? What kind of society do you live in today? Is it a peaceful society? Is it an angry society? Is it a technological society? Is it a society that values the elderly? What will our society look like 20 years from now? How do you interact today with each other? Personally, by phone, by text, by email, or by mail? For any effective change in society to succeed, the mind must be fed the food that gives it life, energy, and joy. The mind does not seem to be in the body, so where is it? Could the mind be the brain waves of each of our thoughts, picked up and acted upon by others? How does the radio work? Do our minds work like a radio, broadcasting our thoughts and beliefs? Is the sick role a behavior of deviance, which has been legitimized? Where do the role players of the sick end up? In the healthcare system? Are prisoners in jail because of some kind of deviant behavior? Or is deviant behavior an excuse for the jailers to feel normal? A people without vision shall perish is the real truth. We can buy glasses to correct our eyesight, but what is vision? And does vision have a cost? Is vision today blurred by the sight of survival? Are the children well? The revolutionary aspect of the mind may be the mind's ability for change, and when a seed of change is planted, a social movement is growing. That this social movement has the ability to turn the other cheek, not because of a weakness, but because of the strength it took to turn its head and to let go of the past behaviors which has led other societies into a stagnated state of consciousness and ruin. Do we have that much strength? The power of the word is demonstrated in this writing as a tool to reawaken the subconsciousness of the minds of the people, to feel the wisdom in the words spoken as you create your own reality, and see the wonder of the way words build worlds. How do you see the worlds around you? As the children of your creations? The foregoing has been a presentation of an alternative way for the encouragement of student participation, that this method has allowed students to tell you what they already know, leaving you with the knowledge of that information needing to be addressed by the teacher, who now understands how to teach students more than they thought they knew. The basic theme of the class is guided by the words of each one, teach one, with the understanding that the student always becomes the teacher. With those seeds planted, the students find that their voices are heard as they become more confident in themselves and their classmates' ability for patience, respect, understanding, and the need for unity, as the sharing of ideas has now evolved into interest and pride, as each student's creativity has been stimulated by the thoughts and ideas shared in class participation. The students' creative side is shown in a collage, decorating the notebook of their sociological journey, remembering their friends, their family, their quotes, the thoughts, the feelings, their teacher, their school, their community, their state, and their country, as they live and learn about the study of their nature and what it has been nurtured to become. The students feel something moving inside of them. Their self-esteem has become enhanced, and a new perspective has been gained concerning their individual connection within society. As student teachers, we now find ourselves beaming with more self-esteem, our panoramic vision clearing the fog so that we can now see our collective strength and become a people with vision as we flow into the circle of life in unity and in tune with the science of wisdom. And all of this is for the best interest of the child. The children are all well. Thank you. July 20th, 2012. President Barack Obama, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, White House, Washington, D.C., 20501. Reason, education. Dear President Obama, humanity is going to need a substantially new way of thinking if it is going to survive. Einstein. A good society must be founded on wisdom derived from truth and reality. Plato. Isn't it a bad thing to be deceived about the truth, and a good thing to know what the truth is? For I assume that by knowing the truth, you mean knowing things as they really are. Plato. Because a free man ought not to learn nothing under duress. Compulsory physical exercise does not harm the body, but compulsory learning never sticks to the mind. True? Then don't use compulsion, I said to him, but let your children's lessons take the form of play. You will learn more about their natural abilities that way. Plato, 380 BC. The teachings of the Circle of Knowledge is not a new NEW way of thinking, but more of a new KNEW way of thinking, recycled and remembered. The Circle of Knowledge was born from a collection of empirical data and communications collected and experienced by me from corporations, government agencies, insurance companies, auto dealerships, hospitals, nursing homes, the court system, U.S. presidents, and other institutions in answer to documents sent to them backed up by evidence which could not be refuted morally or legally. In dealing with the human behavior of the salesman, the staff, the doctors, lawyers, judges, presidents, and human agents of the above-mentioned institutions, I found difficulty getting past their institutionalized indoctrination, their training, their prejudices, and their discrimination. Finally, it was intuited from the words of Einstein that a problem cannot be solved on the same level of consciousness as the problem itself. Therefore, I began to pay attention to the future of the world, the college students, as a means to revolutionize the education system. Attached, Please find a 2-page paper entitled Teachings of the Circle of Knowledge, a 2-page paper, What I Have Learned in Sociology and How I Am Applying the Principles of What I Have Learned by Professor Clay, 9 student papers of What I Have Learned in Sociology and How I Am Applying the Principles of What I Have Learned, a 5-page paper entitled The Hidden Curriculum by student Holly Hutchison, and my thoughts on the questions of energy, of time, and the mindset of habitual action. President Obama, this is an invitation for you to join my classes in the Circle of Knowledge prior to the elections in November 2012, and again after the elections. The appearance of the U.S. President would show the students everywhere that change is the only constant in existence, and that all things are possible when one becomes the dreamer rather than the dreamed. This package, letter, and invitation is going out to others who have received a room full of information from me, but found it unimportant to address the truth. And those said actions has left the people without vision, with a loss in trust, with feelings of powerlessness. And this equates to a stagnated pool of consciousness, which could lead to the ruin of this society. I would look forward to hearing from you. I have other ideas proven to be helpful to the nation. May God bless you, your family, and America in every way. Yours truly, Gloria J. Clay. Challenge for today from Gloria's Corner of Mind Expansion, Reality. We create our own reality. There are 3 kinds of people in the world: those that watch things happen, those that make things happen, and those that wonder what happened. The first pictures which flash in our minds are those of the watchers and wonderers. We see the watchers as people who live their lives as if they were viewing a motion picture. If the scene is a tragedy, they cry. If the scene is a joyous one, they laugh. We view the wanderers as people who put their automobiles in reverse with the speedometer set at 60, then wonder why there are so many fools on the freeway. The wonder is, why are they bumping into me? Are any of us going to picture ourselves as the kind of people who watch things happen, or the kind of people who wonder what happened? We place ourselves in the center, the kind of people who make things happen, neither under control of others nor fools. We understand our position to be the center group of people, the movers and the shakers. We may now move with focus to the center, paying attention to what kind of reality we have created for ourselves. What do we see? Which would you rather do? See a movie or be a movie? Would you rather see a life in motion or be a life in motion? Wonder what happened to your life or create a life of wonder? It is all up to us, for we are truly the creators of our own reality.